Um,
And so
uh,
you should just maybe introduce yourself again since it's not in the recording.
sure. So, hi everyone. My name is Karianne. I use they, them pronouns, and I am the communications lead for the teaching team. As David said, I've been with the group for about 3 years. So, excited to be able to continue to do this work and get to see you all. I know I've been in different capacities, so you maybe haven't seen a lot of me this year. But yeah, I'm here now. So we're gonna start by watching the introductory video, right, David? Yeah.
Please, yeah. Mhm.
Okay, cool. Give me 1 second.
Where are you emotionally on climate change? 1 is I never think about. 10 is paralyzing anxiety. Can't sleep at night. Don't want to have kids because their world will be to this topic.
The Worldwide Climate and Justice Education Week is about helping people move from climate despair and disengagement to a mindset of climate repair. This is the education that changes the future. So Climate Week is for everyone. It's for students, faculty, and staff from all subjects, like artists and psychologists, scientists and business majors, students of music, literature, economics, international affairs, healthcare and engineering, you name it.
Join tens of thousands of people around the world in growing climate education. The first week of April, 2024. You're not alone. People on your campus are really worried about climate change. If you step up, others will join you. At your school, you can make climate an event. This means solutions and justice events on your campus. Art, theater, panel discussions, films, faith meetings, music, games, fairs, and displays. Check out our website for examples from all over the world. Engage your whole school.
On top of your events, you can also help to make climate a class. This means encouraging climate-concerned teachers from all subjects, art, history, chemistry, psychology, all subjects, to spend at least half an hour talking about how climate change solutions and justice are relevant to their field of study, how artists, historians, chemists, and mathematicians are all thinking about climate change. We have step-by-step guides on our website to help you make this happen.
Last summer was the hottest in history. Massive fires, heat waves, floods everywhere. We have to stop it from getting hotter every year. You can help organize Climate and Justice Education Week at your school. The biggest threat to our future? Thinking that someone else will lead, that someone else will stop the climate crisis. Now, not next month, not next year. We all need to step up. Join us. I see in the chat a question about if there is a link to that video. There is. It's also going to be in the presentation we're about to look at together. So, hold on. I'm going to switch us over to the presentation. Okay. Cool. Can everyone hear me okay? You can see my screen? Good. Awesome. So as we said, we're going to be talking about communications tools for you all to help broadcast and talk about your events or how you're participating in our programming this year. If this is not your first year with us, then you will be familiar with a lot of these tools since they've been around just about as long as I have with the program. And if you have not yet planned your event, hopefully some of the tools here might give you some ideas, get you that next spark to keep going on planning your event. But I know a number of us on the call do know we're hosting. We know who we're hosting with. So ideally, these will be things that'll just get you guys rolling on broadcasting and getting information about your event out to the community around you. So together, we're going to talk about templates that the Climate and Justice Education Week is going to provide to all hosts. So if you're already signed up, if you're at this webinar, if you're not yet signed up, you're going to get this link somewhere. Just make sure you're in our email list or email David or I to get it. We'll also look at some inspiration from prior years. So there's some really great reporting we have on prior years, as well as some graphics that we can show you from prior years. And then we're going to talk about how to use these templates, both in the digital space and physically on our campus or in our community. And then the last thing that I'll look at with you all is just a review once more of the resources and partners that we have to help with your event content or help make climate a class with your community. Again, if you've been here with us before, you've probably seen bits and pieces of this already, but these are all updated for 2024. So that should be good. Before I jump into templates and stuff, we just want to reiterate the Make Climate a Class part of our programming. So a lot of you on the call are already maybe hosting events, which is hopefully what drew you here. The Make Climate a Class, we're trying to really push it as this simultaneous participation that we want to invite your communities to do. So if you're already hosting an event, asking teachers, faculty in your school or community to also do Make Climate a Class is a really great way to expand the impact of having that event on campus for that one day, just by asking teachers, hey, we're doing the event Friday. During the week, can you spend 30 minutes talking about climate change in your classroom in advance of the event? So we're all kind of in the mood of talking about it and getting excited for Friday. This is just a really cool way to also push teachers to think about how is climate change relevant to their different subjects, which our partners, Subject to Climate, Learning for a Sustainable Future, which is a newer partner that we've just added to the roster, and Clean all have classroom guides on how to do this. So the ask to teachers, my partner is a teacher. I know there's teachers on the call, I'm sure. I know it's a lot to ask teachers to do something in their classroom, but going to them and showing them the Subject to Climate resources and saying, hey, I know you teach 7th grade English. Here's a 7th grade English portal of all class guides about how to talk about climate change. It's a lot less of an ask than just saying, hey, do you think maybe climate change is relevant to your work? So if you are hosting an event or considering hosting an event, also put this ask out to your community. Ask students to ask their teachers if that's maybe better for your network. If you've got students already involved in the work, that's another great way to make this ask as well. The rest of the templates and stuff are primarily for making climate an event, but we just want to really stress that this could be a great way to expand the impact of your event. There's lots of ways to do this. And again, these resources, the 3 that are listed here, are huge in terms of making that request as easy as possible for the community. Okay, I'm going to push ahead. You will get all of these slides after the call. And all of these are clickable links. So I already have them open. I'm going to walk through them one by one, but just so you can see, each of these is clickable and you will have access to these slides as well as get an email with all these linked out for you. So the first thing we're going to look at is the marketing packet. This contains what we in the communications world would call copy to talk about the work that we're doing together. Again, these items are all linked at the top, so you can skip around. We're going to go right through. So we've got a newsletter feature on how to talk about this specific program and your school's participation in it. This is great for student newsletters, staff and faculty newsletters, or campus-wide newsletters. Another way to use this might be a town email listserv, or you could even turn this into a town, Facebook group. There's a Moms of Red Hook around Bard College or something like that. This is great copy to just explain what the heck are we doing? What is this program? Why is it so important to us? Similarly, this is a little bit more specific to the program, a little bit more about what we are doing, David and I and Tobias and Eben. Obviously, room here for you to insert what your org is doing in coordination with us, but this is a good sampler if you're trying to tell somebody about the Climate and Justice Education Week. This is your program blurb. And then for social media, if you guys are going to post on social media, which I highly recommend you do, we've got all of our Instagram and Facebook places where you can tag us at. I see our LinkedIn needs to be added to this because we just launched our LinkedIn. Hopefully you're on it. We'll look at that in a moment as well. And then if you're also posting, I highly recommend using some of these hashtags. We're using hashtags from prior programs, but that's because they have the most posts in them already. So hashtags work really well when there's a high number of participation in using them. So we can always add more to this list, but as far as building on the progress we've made in prior years and creating that legacy on social media, definitely using hashtags like these will help get more awareness and also get your post out to other people interested in our work. Not exclusive. You can use more than just these hashtags. Those are just the ones relevant to our program. The next thing we have to look at is posters. So there are two sets of posters and we're going to look at them like separately, but they are all here linked in this marketing packet. So if you have trouble finding them, they are here for you. I just want to make sure. Okay, actually we can look at these ones from the packet. So these posters are about the program Climate and Justice Education Week. These are more for like, you want to invite another school in your region, you want to invite another org on campus, you're trying to get more people to make climate a class. This is an invitation to get people to participate in the program itself, which is separate from, there's a group of posters for you to broadcast about your event and what you're going to be doing. This one is about the program and about spreading the word and getting more people as little dots on the map. This is a PDF, so it can be emailed. And the cool thing about it is entirely clickable. So you can go through anything that's underlined, can be clicked, and will take you to all of these links, which is very cool. We've got class guides. This is like, if you want to tell people about our program, just like the program blurb, this is the place to go to do that. And then we have similarly some specific posters for different types of models that we've promoted in the past. So if you were with us last year and you did the teach-in, you'll remember the 3-hour event that we were broadcasting around. Similarly, we have a faith model that was developed I think 2 years ago. So again, these are all for broadcasting. You want to invite the local church or temple in your area to participate, you might want to send them this poster. Okay, and then lastly, we have our branding. So we have our logos, which are also going to be on our slideshow. So we'll look at those in a moment. And then the event video, which is the video we just watched together. So this is linked here as well. You'll notice I link things in lots of places. So if you can't find it in one place, hopefully you'll find it somewhere else. Before I move on to our logos, are there any questions about the marketing packet that we just looked at? And I will throw the link in the chat for us right now. I'll try and do that proactively next time so that you guys can follow along.
Go ahead, John. You can unmute and comment or question.
Thank you. I have one question. First, I just want to commend you for all these great resources that obviously took a lot of time and work. But I want to add that one of the angles that I have coming from my experience as an elementary teacher, and also just inspired by the work that, for example, Subject to Climate have done I come at this from the angle that curriculum change while it would be wonderful, it's not going to happen in time. And really what we want to do is get as many teachers at many levels as possible activated and doing just what you're talking about. And I'll just cut to the chase here. So our intention was to actually ask teachers to commit to a full month of climate learning in their classrooms, no matter what subject they're teaching, whether it's art, dance, math, whatever. And so I noticed that the bulk of your video and the posters even kind of tilt toward an audience that is post-secondary. And I wondered how you would feel about us at our end if we can marshal the talents, either working from kind of some of your work and modifying it for our own ends, so to speak, or kind of working together with you to develop some tools that are more suited to elementary. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, David.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I'll comment on that. Yes, I mean, we want to make sure that people can do what works best for them and their students, their learners, and their communities. So we, on our website, we do have curricular resources by grade. We also, and I'll put a link in the chat in a little bit. We're working with several organizations, Learning First. Yeah, there you go. Karianne can show the resources by grade level. We're working with several organizations, Learning for a Sustainable Future, which is a Canadian organization subject to climate, and Earth Day. And they have jointly created a guide for Earth Month. They're not all climate, but it's all a theme for each day, and then a link to curricular resources at different levels. Will be
sorry to interrupt. Where
Yeah.
that page that shows that month of activities, I'm very familiar with all of these resources, and that's great. I'm really thinking at this point of getting the message out to the actual teachers that these resources exist, which
Right.
is kind of like Karianne's target here in these communications. So yeah, so that one that's got April, all the days of learning for April, is that something new that that
New, yeah.
LSF has put up, or is it
Well,
subject?
it's on the subject to climate website, but
Okay,
it's a little bit hidden still. So I'll put the link and a an actual copy of it in the chat in a few minutes, and
great.
then also, yeah, it's not searchable on their website for some reason, Karianne. Um, but we will be on Valentine's Day, February 14th. Our webinar for that day will be introducing that Earth Month calendar, and the people who put it together will be talking about it and how it's used. And then actually, there's another group that's on there in the lower right to clean the climate literacy and energy awareness network. They will be presenting next week, actually, next Wednesday, the 31st of January. So they'll be showing how those resources. So I think there are quite a few resources, but certainly um, you, John, as a former teacher, and other teachers who you're working with, as you are developing curricular resources, yes, please do share it with us. And then I would encourage you to submit it to these partner organizations that actually have their own review process and their own database. so that they can, that it can be part of their collection.
Yeah, and the last thing I'll add kind of to your question about like what does broadcasting these resources look like? Because I mean, we have the resources. I think there's a plentiful amount of them at this point.
Yes.
Just between those three that we looked at, those are all grade school, and there's a lot of diversity, I think, amongst them. The broadcasting, we're working with each of those groups to cross-share newsletters. So I think Clean has somewhere around 25,000 contacts. They've got a huge network. Subject to Climate has, I think, a similar size to us, around 4,000 or 5,000. They might have a little bit more than that. And LSF, I think in Canada has, or North America, I should say, has also a huge network. And as far as actual teachers' contacts, so there is like momentum in terms of as different organizations, we are partnering to broadcast about these together. The Earth Month calendar David's talking about technically hasn't launched, like hard launched, which is why I'm not finding it on their website. I think it's fine, David, for you to share the link to it, which you're doing now. But that's something that once it's hard launched and it is shared to all of those email networks through these partners we have, I hope that that will be a push for people, since it will be very easy. But it's hard to get people's attention. It's hard to make those emails worthwhile for them to click on. At this point, we as organizers have the materials we have. And as far as getting it out to people, we can send as many emails as we want. It will take some local organizing to get them to want to actually do the work, though. And then the last point I'll make, and then I'm going to push on so we can get through some more materials, is we did have the 10 hours for climate program last year, which as opposed to a whole month, it was 10 hours over the course of, I forget if it was just April or if it was through the semester, but it was to spend
through the school year.
Yeah, to spend 10 hours on climate change throughout the year. So a whole month seems very aspirational, and I hope that some people are able to do that. And if not, I think the 10 hours for climate program is worthwhile to talk about. So if you also like want to make more materials, or you see a hole somewhere, definitely reach out to David and let us know, and we can like talk about that too.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, okay. We're gonna keep pushing ahead then. Luckily, some of these are more straightforward, so we're gonna look at the logos. This is a shared Google location, which I'm going to put the link in the chat. All of these logos are fair use for all of our hosts. We have the like ombre one that I've been using more, but you're welcome to still use this green and blue one as well. You'll notice they have a white outline, so they look good on a dark background, which is important. And then we have the text logo version with the date and without the date, with no background. And then in the same folder, you'll see we have Zoom backgrounds here as well. I don't have mine on right now, which is not leading by example, but David usually has his up. And there's a couple different options in here. Some are backwards if you like to have your screen mirrored. And we have templates for those as well. So we do a lot of templates on Canva. They show up like this when you open it. If you do not account, you can still open all of these templates and edit them. You just put your email in, everything is free. You should never have to pay for anything to access these. So you're going to use template for design. You won't. This is just because I own it that it's showing that. And then you can go in here, you can make this the date of your actual event. You can throw your college's logo on this corner. You could put text at the top, whatever you would like to do. You can move all of this around. It works just like a Word doc in terms of moving around images. You are welcome to make changes to these, edit them in whatever way fits your work and what you need if you choose to use them. Zoom backgrounds are a really cool way to make a simple webinar look really professional. So I really recommend if you have the capacity and your team is interested in them, I think it's worthwhile to go in and make yourself some Zoom backgrounds. Okay, then we're going to look at event posters. So these are templates for broadcasting about your events. They've been updated with just the colors and logos that we use. All of these graphics you can copy and paste. These are free to use. We've been using them for several years. They were designed for this program, so those are yours. You can use them. You don't have to use all of this. You could copy this and put it somewhere else. Yours for the taking, so to say. Just some different templates we've had throughout the years. And then this last page has some more of the graphics. So if you wanted to, oh, not what I meant to do. We'll add a page. If you wanted to make your own and you were looking for the logo, you can just throw the logo on it and then throw some text and make your own poster using all of these graphics. Again, all of these are fair game for your teams to use. Put them on your own templates, throw them on a Canva template. Canva has lots of free templates as well. Hopefully these just make it a little bit easier for your team to go ahead and make your posters. And then similarly, we looked at these posters, which are the examples of the program and explaining the program. And then lastly, for templates, we have social media ones. So again, these are ones that we've used in the past. I added some new other different styles in here as well. You can change all of this content. Just go ahead and type like a Word doc, very easy. And we've got all of our samples. And again, all of this is changeable. So you can go in and just copy and paste and switch things out or change the color of something. Ooh, that's very red. Okay, so we've looked at our event posters, about the event posters, which again are programmatic. And then we've looked at our social media posts and our Zoom backgrounds, our template for those. The next thing on here is the presentation template. A lot of times when we're having events, folks have done different webinars or presentations or had speakers. So we have a template made for any of those scenarios. If you wanted it to be branded, again, having something branded just makes it look really clean, really professional, really intentional. I've gone ahead and added 3 entry slides to the front. If you participated with us last year, I thought this might be a cool thing. You could throw it at the end of your presentation, get rid of it if you don't want it. But then the rest of the presentation has some different branded slide options. And if you go ahead and hit add a new slide, you'll see all of these are built into PowerPoint. So you don't have to worry about like copy and pasting anything. You have all of these different variations that you can add straight from here. So to use this, you'll just go in and hit file, make a copy, entire presentation, and then you'll have it in your own drive. And those notes will be, those kind of usage notes will be listed when we share the links to everything as well. Cool. And then the last thing is certificates. Again, if you've hosted with us in the past, you have gone through this process of receiving certificates. We send certificates to all host institutions. So everyone who has an event will receive one on behalf of our team. And then as a host, you will be given templates to 2 different types of certificates. The top one is for speakers, and the bottom one is for participants. And I know in certain places, these are more important to community members than others. You are not obligated to use them, but they are there for you to use if you choose. You will not get the links to certificates until you complete the post-event form that tells us about how your event went. That's our way of getting some good data about everything that goes down, and your way of securing that host certificate and these templates. which will be provided as a Canva template, and then you'll also get them. I usually do a PowerPoint, which is I find an easy way to throw names into a template as well. Okay.
Karianne, we'll also create a certificate for teachers who are making climate a class.
Yes, that's right. Thank you, David. Lots of templates and things we just looked at. Are there any more questions before I move forward and we talk about how to use all these things? Yes, John. You're on mute.
Yeah, one of the things that we've been hung up with in attempting to make posters is a shortage of copyright-free photographs. Do you have anything like a collection of photos that would be suitable for promoting these events that you could share?
Photographs of events from prior years, are you thinking, or photographs of certain things?
Yeah, it could. I mean, photographs essentially, I guess the biggest gap that we want to fill is photographs of people engaged in learning events.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it could be you know, happening not on Worldwide Climate Justice Education Day or week, but it could be just happening and as an exemplar to illustrate, yeah, what you're doing.
This is a great question. I will need to like triple check, but I'm fairly sure if we look at this one is posters, but we also have photos. So all of these photos were collected in 2022 as part of our like evaluation form. When they filled out those forms, they gave us the rights for usage. I will need to like triple check that it's okay, but so long as the broadcasting is for the program, like our program, and you as a partner of that program are hosting, I would think that it's okay for some of these to be used. You'll see like this photo was in the video. There's some really cool ones here. I think that these would all be fair game as far as like rights to usage. I don't think there should be a problem, but I will double check with the team and just make sure we're all okay with that and on the same page. And then if that's the case, I'll include these in their resources as well. Does that sound good?
Oh, that'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, another source, and I know, you know, laws differ in different countries, and of course, one has to be really careful in using pictures of children. But the U.S. government, I think it's through different agencies, they have government pictures that are in the public domain that can be used. And so I'm not, I haven't accessed them for a while, but for example, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service has a photo collection that is in the public domain that can be used. So that would be another source of photographs.
Thank you. And I'll just add, there's a place called Climate Visuals that's very interesting, has also uncopyrighted material. That's one of the other ones I've looked at. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Good question. I'm just gonna show you. This is what I like to do. Go to Google Images, you make your search, and then under Tools, there's a usage rights button. And then Creative Commons license. All of these are now for use and can be used in whatever way you would like to use them. I always think this is really cool. I don't think a lot of people know about it. So just a quick prompt that this is another way to find images.
Thank you. You're teaching me something I didn't know.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people watching this recording are also going to be like, I did not know that. Just another plug. So cool. So I'm gonna again push us forward. We've got about 15 minutes. Luckily, not much more to go through. We do have some samples from last year. So this is an event photo from this event, and here is an event photo from this event. Very, very cool. I think this one also seeing the structure on both of those is very neat. We've got another poster here, and you can see that the OSIN and our logo and the BARD logo are all on this poster. Again, totally cool with us. Throw our logo on all your programming. We're here for it. And you guys saw me click. There's more posters from 2022 in this folder, which is accessible to anyone with the link. Okay, now we're going to talk about how to use all of these things that we have templates for. Hopefully, if you've been organizing a little bit, this is all pretty straightforward to you. So with your event, you want to make sure it's hosted on your website. You're going to talk about it in a newsletter or listserv relevant to your community. So either a campus newsletter, staff newsletter, club newsletter. All of those are options. You could do it to all of those. Don't feel bad about sending it out multiple places. Maybe do the staff email one week and then a club email another week. Totally cool. Send it out in every newsletter you can get your hands on. And then social media accounts. I would highly recommend, if you're not already working with students on campus, find a club or group of students on campus that are interested, and make sure that your event is posted not only on your school's social media account, which I know like high schools maybe don't have, colleges probably do have, but then have the students in that group post it on their student account, which I was in an environmental club in high school. We had an Instagram account for stuff that we did. There was an Instagram account for the club I was in college. So the students will have access to social media in ways that we maybe don't. Find the students, ask them. They will probably be down to share about your event. So think both about like your institution or your school, and also about the network of students and the network of the community around you. Even asking like local cafes or community groups who might be on the same messaging as you, if they want to share on their social media as well, is another great way to broadcast. And then as you're broadcasting, as you're sending things out in the newsletter and on social media, consider doing multiple posts, multiple emails, and drumming up excitement by talking about who your speakers are going to be, or what the panels are, or what your event's going to look like. BARD usually does like a dinner one night and speakers another night, and they'll launch each of those pieces separately so that we're constantly hearing about the event in different ways. And then working, like I said, with campus groups to post across accounts, and asking anyone participating to broadcast in their network. So if you do have teachers making climate a class, or you have teachers involved in the organizing of your event, make sure they tell their students, make sure they invite their class to the event specifically. Use everyone who's helping organize to get more people to come if possible. And then for physical broadcasting, your event should be posted all around campus, all around town or neighboring towns, and in places that everyone would gather. Again, I'm thinking of Bard College. We would post in all of the cafes in the 3 different little towns that are around the campus. We would post on campus. There would be posters in the hallways. In high school, we would post it in the library. We would post it on the school board. It would be posted like probably even in the town halls. I was from a small town, so our library and town hall were kind of the same thing. But anywhere that you see posters, anywhere that you learn about something, go put your poster up. You will be surprised how many people might be engaged. Even small other businesses, not just cafes, but like there's a ramen shop around Bard that would have posters up. Don't be too scared about having it in the wrong place or it's not the right audience. Anywhere you could post, go and post it. And then again, working with student groups, if you've got students in your space helping you organize, thinking about the places where students gather. So if it's secondary or primary school, that could be scout meetings or other places like that, craft groups. Anywhere that you're having groups of kids come together is a great opportunity to announce and talk about the event and get people engaged to want to attend. Okay.
Yeah, and just one little thing that our partner on this, Even Goodstein, does is he has posters printed up, and then he gives them to students to go around to the different buildings on campus and tape them on the inside door in the bathroom stalls where you have sort of a captive audience to read the the posters. So even if they don't come, at least they're getting exposed, let's say, to that.
Yeah. Yes. On Bard campus, there was a club that exclusively did that, and they would write like long paragraphs, and it became, they named it something. It was like the bathroom reader. And it was effective. I mean, if you're sitting there, you're going to read the long paragraph in front of you. Yeah. So, all of that said, on this last page, we have just some more links to resources. This one takes you to all of our different write-ups for different types of models that we've done in the past. It also has the link to our theater scripts, which we ran this competition last year. These are all around 15-minute climate-related plays that could be hosted in a classroom or as part of an event. Yeah. And then all of these have kind of a step-by-step how to host an event. These are from prior years, so they might be a little bit out of date in terms of the like dates written on them. But as for actually like planning an event, there are some very detailed kind of how to follow along step-by-steps here in this folder, which is very cool. Similarly, our website. So we've got the resources page, which we all looked at together a moment ago. These top 6 are blogs. So they have a very long list of resources and a blurb about each type of resource. Might be worthwhile to do a Control F and search for what you're looking for. This is literally a very, very long blog, which is cool. Lots of resources. And then all of these are partner websites. So some of them have a write-up about them, give you a little bit of an intro, and others are direct links to the sites themselves. Again, worth clicking around if you're still in the market for finding the right resource for your event. And then on our website, we also have the Plan Your Week page, which talks about the difference between Make Climate a Class and Make Climate an Event. If you haven't gotten to look at this and you're still not sure which one fits you, that's good as well. And the last thing I will show you is if you click on this image, you will go to a report of last year's events. And I think this is, again, a really great resource because you can find out about how other people were creating events, what they did at them, what they talked about, how many attendees they had, if they had any recordings or anything. Just a great place to go in and find some more ideas and inspiration. Okay, I'm going to stop talking. If there's any more questions or comments or anything that we didn't talk about you were hoping to see, we can go into some discussion together.
So anybody have questions that you want to ask Karianne or comments on the materials or other things that are related to, go ahead, John.
I guess I have one, and that is just off the top of my head that you mentioned that after people have participated, that's when and they report back to you kind of what they did. That's when they receive a certificate. So I'm wondering, I mean, I can see the value in that, and if I was a participating teacher, I and maybe my class would all feel proud to display the certificate. But I'm wondering if that if many of the people who participated last year or in years past have returned for this year.
Yes, they have. Lynn is an example of that. This is, I think, maybe your 4th year or something working with us, Lynn.
Yeah, and it's been great. And every year we do something slightly different depending on our resources or our partners that we can work with. This year we're going to do a virtual exchange basically of some students in my class and students in other universities across the world. So it just depends. Sometimes it's an information session, just how do I get started kind of thing. But you know, and really we just feel like we can only do what we can do. And then also the great thing about it is that we also then give the link so that they want to join other world events. I let my students go on and then choose from all the other people who have posted that they're doing events. And some of them go on and they really enjoy it. So
Thank you.
Anybody else with questions or comments that you want to raise at this point? Well, I guess I just want to again thank each of you for coming. If you, and we hope that you all are, participating in one way or another, whether it's making climate an event or making climate a class, please do go to our homepage, which I just put in the chat, and register your event. Everybody who registered for this webinar will get a recording and a link to Karianne's presentation and a link to the communication resources. Amazing, amazing collection of work that you have done, Karianne. So all of that we will make available to you. And if you have any questions, afterwards, we will be doing this again at noon. You can join us again. Same same link for that. And otherwise, I put both Karianne's contact and mine in the chat earlier, so you can get in touch with us directly. So again, thank you not only for joining us today, but even more importantly, thank you for your work as an educator and somebody who is helping to turn our young people from climate despair to involved in the great work of climate repair.
Thank you. Appreciate everything you're doing. We'll be in touch.
We're glad to have you with us.
I just wanted to say something. It was kind of
Yeah,
confusing
please.
to my colleagues that it says Worldwide Teach In 2023 when it really links to Worldwide Teach In 2024. Is that going to be changed or is that just a permanent link that has to be?
Karianne, you want to comment on the
Yeah.
challenges of using the BARD system?
Yeah,
That's what I
it's
figured.
actually because it's built into the Bard College MBA and sustainability website. It's going to be stuck that way, unfortunately. We do have an alternative link, which is worldwideclimateed.com, which will take you to the same homepage, but at least when you type it out in an email, it doesn't look like you're going to the wrong place. Which I can maybe include. I will put that in the marketing packet as part of like the brand as another way to link out, because you're not the first to comment. It is confusing. The link looks different. Yeah.
And I totally understand that. We have IT issues here too. I just thought maybe that was going to be changed eventually, but I get it. It's not an easy fix, probably.
Yeah, not an easy fix. No.
Yeah, by the way, Karen, it's .org, not .com.
Yeah.
Yeah, worldwide climate at .org. I'll put that in the chat too. But,
well, thank you.
Yeah.
Have a great day, everyone.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, bye-bye, and thanks for all your participation.
Thank you.
All right, nice job, Karianne.
Thank you.
So, Shiva, are you still with us? Did you have any questions or anything you wanted to share from Malaya? I appreciate that it's probably very late at night for you at this point. Okay. All right, so yeah, I think you can stop the recording and
Yes, I forgot I was recording.
yeah.